Hey, what's up, everybody? I am Ari Temkin, and this is Showtime on Phantom. As part of the New World Order of sports media, we are putting you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion. Here, there's the microphone. That helps. What's up? So I played the Romo top 10 list in the intro for this because right now I'm compiling a list of the top 5 plays in the history of Tony Romo. I already saw, I think it was Keith Price or Keith Stone mentioned that it was the Dez catch, which is definitely number 1 on that list if it goes down as a catch, which it should have been. So what I'm doing is I am going through all the Romo plays right now and trying to compile a top 5 list. I'm trying to compile the 5 best plays in Tony Romo's career. So I need your help in doing that. I've enlisted you to help me figure out the 5 best plays in the career of Tony Romo. So post what you think would be one of the 5 best plays. That would be fantastic. Which ones do you think make the list? I'll play some of these for you as well as we move on through the show. I do want to get into some now stuff going on right now, obviously with this team, as they've got some injuries to account for, and Jeff Swaim at tight end. He's going to miss some time, it looks like, so what should they do there? And plus, I'll be going out to the Cowboys facility here after the show today. Dak Prescott will speak, so all that coming up. And by the way, I will be doing a post-practice live stream too as well, so you get double the Ari live streams today here on Phantom. By the way, I'm Ari Temkin. This is Phantom. We are putting you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion. And so we start off today. I've enlisted you to help me compile a list of the top 5 plays in Tony Romo's career. That's what I need you to do for me. And so I'm going to play a few of those here.
Oh, second and 6, 22 seconds at the Detroit 16. Shotgun again, snap to Romo. Play fake, throws it in the end zone. Jason Witten caught it for a touchdown to the post with 18 seconds left. Fitting for Witten to be the man who makes that catch. An extra point away from Dallas leading for the first time today. What a job of quarterbacking your team from the 17-yard line with no timeouts.
There it is. You called it, Brad. Cowboys took over this ball and went 83 yards. They had 2:15 to do it. And look at that. They left 18 on the clock. And again, Sean Rogers, the defensive tackle for Detroit, he's blocked 11 kicks.
Folk for the all-important extra point. And the kick is good, and Dallas leads for the first time today, 28-27. With that touchdown, Washington Mutual has donated another $500 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I don't care what happens in the next 18 seconds, today's supersonic player of the game.
My favorite part about that one is they keep showing John Kitna. Like the entire, if you watch the full final drive there, they just keep showing John Kitna like the whole, Kitna is so angry. He just becomes angrier and angrier as he realizes what's about to happen. So that's one of them. Again, I'm compiling a list of the top 5 plays in Tony Romo's career. So I'm asking you to let me know what you think is part of that list. Let's see here. Brian Walker says, I'd rather see Troy Aikman top plays. Well, I'm going with the Tony Romo top plays, so that's what we're going to do. Wayne Bledsoe says, sideline pass to T.O., 70-yard touchdown pass. Yeah, that one was sweet. Wolf Flywheel says his retirement. Ouch. Okay. Let's see here. On the Dallas Cowboys America's Team page, or rather on the Phantom page, facebook.com/watch Phantom. Loved when he made Watt look silly. That's from Cody Arnold. The J.J. Watt spin move is one of my favorites. Yeah, it's funny because I think, so when I'm compiling this list, it obviously the individual play is going to be a part of it. But also, the one of the biggest components that I think for it will be is situation. End of game. So how much time was on the clock? Was it a playoff game? So, certainly one of the ones that I think is going to be on this list is the touchdown pass that Tony Romo has to Terrence Williams in the Detroit game, the Detroit playoff game a few years ago, which won the game for him. Obviously, they had to get the stop on defense for Detroit and all that. But for me, the touch game score situation is a big part of it. And then, of course, there's just the ridiculously impressive throws. I think the three that are definitely on this list, the touchdown pass to Terrence Williams in the Detroit game, in the Detroit playoff game, the Jesse Holley play with my co-host on the pre and post game show for the Dallas Cowboys, Jesse Holley, where the Cowboys trail by 10 with 3 minutes to go in San Francisco, and rallied to tie the game, and then at overtime, Romo has that touchdown or that near touchdown pass to Jesse Holley, and then the field goal by Dan Bailey to win the game. That's definitely one of them. And then the third that is definitely on there. And by the way, that was the punctured lung game. So Romo had or not a punctured lung. I think you die with a punctured lung. But that he had some issue with his lung, collapsed lung or something in that game. And then the other one that's definitely on the list is the Washington game, the comeback in Washington. They had to win that game, week 15, to stay in the playoff race. Romo had the disc, the ruptured disc in his back, and then he threw a touchdown pass to DeMarco Murray on fourth down to win the game. That's definitely on the list. In fact, that might be number one. He didn't even play the following week, if you remember, and then the Cowboys missed the playoffs because of it. But, that's neither here nor there. Joe Tranchina says the Rams game where he fumbles and then ran for the first down. Yeah, that one, I'm thinking about putting that on the list. The J.J. Watt is also on my, maybe that one. There's the Seattle game a few years ago where they had a 3rd and 20 trailing in the fourth quarter in that one, and he completed a ridiculous pass to Terrence Williams. It's funny, you watch some of these, you're like, man, Terrence Williams has had some ridiculous catches in the course of his career. Just some absurd catches. That 3rd and 20 catch in Seattle that he made to get the first down, to keep that drive alive when they won in Seattle, if you remember, in the DeMarco Murray season, where they were just unbelievably good, 13-3. The Dez catch, everybody remembers the Dez catch, not catch, Ari. Danny Easley says, "You're killing me, Ari. Talking while I'm talking. You read my mind. The 4th and goal against Washington, down 23-17. Romo hits Murray." Right, and again, Solar's in the house. Solar, we're talking about the greatest Tony Romo plays of all time because I'm right now compiling a video. I'm creating a video, top 5 Romo plays of all time. The ones that are definitely on there. I don't know what the order is. I think the Washington one might be number 1, but I'm not sure. And it's taken me a long time to build this list because there's so many great plays. Like Tony Romo is thought of as the guy that's able to escape pressure, and unbelievably, right? That's what he does. So there's those great plays where he's Houdini. There's the Atlanta Falcons play that he had where he just ducked in and out of pressure and got there. There's the Watt escaping Watt. There was another one that was just absurd where he got rid of I think it was the Broncos game years ago, that the game that they lost that was 55-50 and Romo had 400 yards passing. Sean Moore says negative Nelly here. So again, the ones that are definitely on the list is the Washington play where he throws a touchdown pass on fourth down at DeMarco Murray with the what was it, a back issue, the ruptured back or whatever. Now I'm forgetting the ones that I've already named are definitely on the list. Oh, the touchdown pass to Terrence Williams to win the playoff game against the Lions, and the other one is the Jesse Holley play with the collapsed lung. Solar says 9 till death. Romo has way too many plays to pick one. I'll go with when Dez caught it in Green Bay. That's going to be honorable mention because it should be the number 1 play on this list, but it's not because it's an incompletion in the record books. Chuck Taylor says, by far when he quit playing. Brilliant. You people. At least, I will say this. It seemed like recently all the Romo haters were gone. I'm glad they're back. At least, I know that they're still there. Because there was a time where, this year, it's like everybody wanted Romo back. Romo's the best. And so I was like, what happened to all the people that didn't like Romo? But they're still here. John Martin says, dude, the J.J. Watt miss. Spin. Ryan Vogler says, a spin on J.J. Watt. Hit T. Will for 45-yard touchdown. Miss snap, fumble for 30 yards. Recover, get it, take it to the 10 of the T. Will throw the Detroit playoff game. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to put the J.J. Watt one on there. That was a ridiculous play. He just drops Watt and then throws a 45-yard touchdown pass to Terrence Williams. T. Will is on this a lot. He's got the touchdown pass the playoff game touchdown catch the playoff game against Detroit. He's got that catch. He's got the 3rd and 20 in Seattle in that same season. The DeMarco Murray set the Cowboys single season rushing record. The Dez catch season. That was the Seattle game in Seattle. You remember that was like the Legion of Boom. They went into Seattle where you don't win and then won at the end of the game, and Tony Romo had that 3rd and 20 completion to Terrence Williams of all people, and he wasn't even throwing to T. Will. David Alejandre says LMAO. Sean Moore says the pass to Jesse Holley. The Holley pass is definitely on the list. Patrick Kahn says touchdown pass to Witten in 2015 opener. Against the Giants, he had wasn't it like back-to-back seasons? They played the Giants in the opener on Sunday Night Football, and he had back-to-back winning games. Didn't that happen? I know there was Witten one year, and then I feel like the next year the same was like Dez. Didn't he then the next year also throw a touchdown pass to Dez? Opening game, Meadowlands, Sunday Night Football. The snap over his head for 40-yard first down scramble. That one was ridiculous. That play was ridiculous, but some of it was self-inflicted. That's why I don't know. I'm conflicted about it because, he kicked the ball back. He kicked it. He made it worse. He worsened the situation. That was a ridiculous play. Romo to Witten in week 1 with 12 seconds left. That was the Giants game that Patrick Kahn is talking about. By the way, on the Houston Cowboys page, shout out to all you watching across the Houston Cowboys page. And if you're sitting there when is he going to talk about the current team? Why would he talk about the current team? First off, thank you for watching. Second of all, I will get to the current team. But good news. I'll get to the current team. 1, it's the bye week. I don't have an opponent to preview. Normally, Thursdays and Fridays are opponent preview time. I don't have it. I can preview the bye week. Here's my bye week preview. There. Look at that. Look at that team they're playing this week. Isn't this going to be a fun game? I'm a physical comic. What do you want from me? But I'm also going to be doing it's a 2 for today. It's a 2 for Thursday. I'm going to be doing a live stream today after practice at the Star in Frisco, when I'll have more information. People are asking me if I've spoken to Amari Cooper yet. He met the media yesterday. He says 6 words. He doesn't talk. He doesn't do media. Hopefully he does catch touchdown passes, but he's not very... He's not like Dez, I guess is the best way to put it, as far as being outspoken, gregarious. Curtis Stark says, what's up? I'd rather have Danny White than Romo all day from Kevin Bledsoe. Okay. I'd rather have Romo. David Alejandre says, great analysis of the bye week. Thank you. I thought it was the best part of the show today. Michael Lafferty, nice illusion, Ari. Favorite Tony Romo plays, Jessica Simpson and Carrie Underwood. Pooh, boom, boom. Shh. Chris Bennett in the house. What up, CB? On the Houston Cowboys page, shout out to all you watching across the Houston Cowboys page. Everybody hit share. We started off really hot. The Romo highlights at the beginning of this thing got us to 100, and now we've been kind of below that 70 line. And look, I've been spoiled. JP Perry says 7. Thumbs up. He must have been saying 7 was the best play. Dallas Cowboys Report. Shout out to all you watching across the Dallas Cowboys Report, one of our partners here at Phantom. Let's see. Chris Bennett also agrees Danny White's better than Romo. Y'all are haters. That is not true. I'll buy Aikman and Staubach, but Romo's the 3rd best quarterback in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. Inez Lax, thumbs up, Inez. Joanne Castellano says of the comeback in the season opener in 2015 versus the Giants. That one's gotten a lot of love. The catch to Dez, unfortunately, didn't count. Agreed. The Dez, Frederick Harrison says the Dez no catch pass was the best play he made. They took away from him. Agreed. I mean, it was ridiculous. Frederick Harrison says, I'm no Romo hater, but all the great memories won't get us past 2 playoff wins for 13 years. Sure. The question is, though, was Romo the reason they only had 2 playoff wins in 13 years? That's the question. Now look, Romo did throw some untimely picks. Agreed. But he has a ridiculous amount of fourth quarter comebacks. He's was one of the most electrifying quarterbacks the league's ever seen as far as, Michael Vick was electrifying running upfield, and Romo certainly did his share of that, but just escaping the rush, athleticism in the pocket, the ability to continue to make plays down the field. I mean, it's incredible. So, I mean, I think the idea of, well, he only had 2 playoff wins in 13 years, like that to me is more a product of the Cowboys at that time than it is of anything else. Right, and Sean Moore makes the ultimate point about Danny White, which is, like, Danny White's the opposite of Romo from a standpoint of Romo had nothing for the most part, right? Like, Romo had some good teams, but he never had a top 10 defense. Romo never had a top 10 defense. And you look at the players around Danny White, it seemed like, Danny White and Romo are often compared to one another for their mishaps. But for me, Romo overcompensated for so many areas where they just were missing things. I mean, he just, and I say this all the time, he dragged a lifeless franchise as close as he could get it to the finish line every single year. The fact that he only had 2 playoff wins in 13 seasons is a product of how bad the organization was and not how bad Romo was. Actually, I wrote an article about Romo when he retired. And, like, isn't the end of his career almost the perfect metaphor for his career? Now, I know it's sad, but he is a Shakespearean tragedy. Romo's career is a Shakespearean tragedy. It has all the elements of it. So it was never going to end with him like John Elway's career ended. Like, his career was never going to end like that because that's not Romo. His career ended almost perfectly from a standpoint of Romo's career, which is by the time they finally put the pieces around Tony Romo to be successful, Tyron Smith was the first offensive lineman that Jerry ever drafted in the first round. Then they drafted Zach Barton then they drafted Travis Frederick and Zach Barton. I mixed them up. So you had Tyron Smith being drafted in the first round, first time Jerry did it, and then they basically drafted 3 offensive linemen in the first round in the next 5 over a 5-year period. They drafted Zeke. So they finally had they drafted Dez. So they drafted Tyron, Dez, Travis, Zach, and Zeke. Boom! Tony's got a team. By the time everything was in place, it was over for him. Kind of amazing. Kind of sad. Kind of the perfect ending for Tony Romo. Sadly. I mean, perfect from a standpoint of how his career went. Not like, oh yeah, glad he didn't get to reap the benefits of the great offense they finally put together. No, it's just, his ending was Shakespearean tragedy. In a sense. Anyways, I wrote it way better than I could say it or verbalize it right now, so go read it if you can. Just search like Ari Temkin, Tony Romo, and you'll find it, and it's kind of cool. It's like the greatest, beyond my son, it's like the thing I made that I'm most proud of. So I constantly reference it so that I can tell people to go read it. What else? So anybody else want to talk about? I just figured, look, I'm putting together this list, top 5 Romo plays of all time. It's a bye week. So I'm not going to preview Tennessee. We'll wait till next week to preview Tennessee. I've talked about Amari Cooper literally every day this week. Do we still want to talk about Amari Cooper? So I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I can outsource my work to the people. What do the people think are Romo's 5 greatest plays of all time? So that's all I was trying to do, okay? Let's see here. Patrick Kahn says, that's like saying Eli's a better quarterback when 2 Super Bowls team accomplishment. Right. I mean, rings are important. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, they, especially in football, probably don't tell you. Like in basketball, one-on-one, like one player makes a difference, right? Basketball, one player makes that much of a difference. I mean, that's, that's it. You look at LeBron. LeBron goes to the Heat. Heat win championships. Cleveland's horrible. LeBron goes back to Cleveland. Now they're in position to win a championship. Lakers are horrible. Now he goes there, and they're bad, but they'll be fine. Basketball, rings are probably more important because one player can make that big of a difference. In football, one player can make that big of a difference. The quarterback can, but it still is insignificantly minuscule relative to the impact that one individual player can make in basketball. All right. Just trying to check out. How about the America's Fans Silver and Blue Club page? Shout out to the folks watching over there. By the way, I'm going to also check out YouTube here because I know we're streaming on the Watch Phantom YouTube page. Again, reminder, I do this every day, but just want to remind the folks that are new to this program. Hi, Ari Temkin. Nice to meet you. Phantom, facebook.com/Watch Phantom. Go hit the like button. Hey, it's written up there or here. There we go. Go hit the like button on that page. That would be awesome. And we put you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion. But the quickest way to have your comments heard and read is by going over to Phantom. So do that, please. Stevie Mac says, what's up, Ari? What's up, Stevie Mac on YouTube? I believe he's the only person watching on YouTube. So shout out to you. I'll check your comments when I remember to do that. Let's see. What else? Robert Jansarich says, you can say one person doesn't make a difference in football, but Jerry Jones is single-handedly destroying Dallas. Kevin Bledsoe says, great quarterbacks have the it factor. What is it? And Romo didn't have it? What's it? To put a bad team in position to go to a bunch of playoffs? Like, I don't know what it is, but if Romo doesn't have it, then nobody has it. Just my opinion, though, and I'm just your humble servant here. Let's see here. Tony Romo's the new era Dan Marino. Marino is better, but I get your point. Sean Moore says, talking about this is pretty depressing. And here I was trying to uplift everybody on a Thursday by reliving the greatest moments in the third greatest quarterback in the Cowboys' history. Eli had tough. And we don't have to talk about Eli. We don't have to, we can just agree to disagree that Romo was really good. And if you didn't like him, then that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. But I'm just trying to ask for everybody's top 5 plays of Tony Romo's career. If anybody has them, that would be cool. Danny Easley says the perfect example of that is Aaron Rodgers, best quarterback in a top 10 defense, won a Super Bowl with ease, hasn't had a good defense since, but he still carries Green Bay every week. Agreed. Patrick Kahn says we can talk Obi Melifonwu. Yes, he was in for a visit. He is. So, fine. There. How about that? Everybody wants to spoil the fun. Move on and talk about football things. So where is this crud? There we go. Boom. No, they don't want it to go away like that. There we go. Okay, now we got it figured out. Hey, technology. By the way, go ahead and hit the share button if you have not already. Please, I demand it of you. Or I ask it of you. It's be very nice. Brian Walker says Romo is good, but not clutch. If Romo wasn't clutch, then there is no such thing as clutch. Because there is no such thing as clutch, in my opinion, because you're not going to hit the shot 100% of the time. So that's basically like the people who say Romo wasn't clutch are like, well, he didn't score a touchdown, win the game for the Cowboys every single time. So there's that. But yeah. No, we can't ban. Danny easily wants us to ban Brian Walker. Brian Walker's the man. I don't believe in clutch. Because, you look at the NBA for clutch, right? This is a good example. You look at the most clutch performers in the NBA, they're also the highest percentage shooters. So here are the guys that hit the most shots at the end of games. Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, weird. Also the same guys that have the highest per shooting percentages in the NBA. Clutch is a product of sample size. Insofar as the larger the sample size, the more likely you are to play to your percentages. So nobody's clutch insofar as nobody hits the game-winning shot or throws the game-winning touchdown 100% of the time. He means playoffs. He wasn't clutch in the playoffs. Romo. Poor Romo. He was clutch in the playoffs, except for the times that he wasn't. Which means clutch is stupid and it's not really analytically driven in any capacity. And it's nobody hits 100% of the shots, therefore I just don't know how else to do it with that. So LeBron is not clutch. No. You're missing my point. LeBron's going to hit a lot of game-winning shots because LeBron hits a lot of shots. So LeBron's clutch as much as Tony Romo's clutch. Remember, LeBron was not clutch early on in his career, and now he is clutch. And some players are clutch, and then they're not clutch. And there's no such thing as clutch. There's only a such thing as you play in end-of-game situations. You're not going to succeed 100% of your opportunities. You're going to play to your percentages. What's your completion percentage? Most times, then, you're going to play to that over the course of a larger sample size. Kevin Bledsoe says nobody said 100% of the time. But that's just the thing, though, right? When you look at clutch, people then pick and choose which examples are clutch enough, right? So if you do have a clutch situation at the end of a game and you then you hit on that clutch situation, it's like, but that wasn't clutch enough. It wasn't against a good team. It wasn't in this situation. It wasn't, it's like people continually move the goalposts back. So how do you define clutch then? Because again, I don't think clutch is non-existent. Clutch doesn't exist. It's not real. It's just something we think of in sports but isn't actually real. Because again, I don't know how to define it. Playoffs. Got it, Kevin. Romo sucks because he only had 2 playoff wins. Got it. How many playoff games did Romo play in? Steve Andrasky says, remember that broken play years ago when snap went over Romo's head for like a 30-yard loss and then bring it back for a gain? LOL. Yeah, that was a ridiculous play. All right. We're telling you the situation playoffs. So he's not clutch because he wasn't clutch in the playoffs. That's what you're saying, Kevin. And I wouldn't say we're. I would say you. Well, don't use the we're. You seem to be the one, and Brian Walker is the second, I suppose. That are you're saying like clutch situation is playoffs. Well, he threw a touchdown pass to Terrence Williams to win a playoff game against Detroit. Is that not clutch? It's not clutch. Oh, because he didn't succeed in the playoffs 100% of the time. Or, the Washington game where he completed a pass to DeMarco Murray on 4th down with a broken back and then couldn't play the following week, and so his team missed out on the playoffs because they needed him with a broken back to get to the playoffs. It's not clutch. What else? G. Garcia says, Ari, go tell Jerry Jones to go after Landon Collins. We need him, LOL. No. We're not giving up any more draft picks. Unless it's a 5th or a 6th round pick. So, no. Injury news. Jeff Swaim, who should start at tight end. So, Jeff Swaim, it looks like he could miss 2 to 4 weeks. It looks like he's going to have a sprained MCL. They They haven't announced that publicly, but looks like he's got a sprained MCL, which means he'll probably miss 2 to 4 weeks. Malik Collins, I think, missed 5 weeks with that same injury. Remember at the beginning of, was it training camp? In fact, I think he missed more than 5 weeks. At any rate, Malik Collins misses a lot of time, so that's neither here nor there. My guess is Swaim will be out for the next month, which is 3 games. Yeah, Patrick Kahn says Eric Kashani says Jerry wasted Romo like the Packers are wasting Rodgers. Agreed. Cody Arnold says Swaim is always hurt. Is that true? I don't know that to be true, but perhaps. At any rate, he has the sprained MCL. By the way, football's a very dangerous sport. People are injured all the time. I love when fan bases are like, my team is so injured. Like, every team is injured. Some more than others, but Tavon Austin's an injury. Sean Lee's been injured. Now he's back, and he's always injured. It's football. It's dangerous. That's what happens. I don't know why I'm in a weird mood today. So who should start at tight end now that Jeff Swaim is out? And I think this is a bigger loss than we probably would expect it to be, because Swaim has come on pretty strong, as being a multifaceted tight end. So, I think this is going to be a big loss, because I don't know how to me, the answer is thumbs up. It's Rico. That's the replacement. With all apologies to Blake Jarwin, I don't think he's very good. Dalton Schultz, at this point, if they start Dalton Schultz, it's only because they're force-feeding Dalton Schultz. He's done nothing to prove that he should be the starter. For me, it's Rico. Rico has been a decent blocker. He's gotten involved in the passing game. Rico's the guy they should go with as the starter at tight end. Patrick Kahn says Dalton Schultz. Patrick, why? What has Dalton Schultz done beyond being a draft pick that tells you he should start? Because Rico, look, the MO on Rico was he can't block and he doesn't know the plays. Well, there must have been some sort of miraculous comeback for him, because all of a sudden now he knows the plays and he can block pretty decently. So I think this is a situation where Rico comes in, he starts, and he could take over that position now. It could happen where they never look back. Joe Tranchina says Rico Gather should start a whole game. Wayne Bledsoe says biggest piece of O-line out, and everybody knows who I'm talking about, Frederick. Sure. Absolutely. And I don't expect Frederick to be back at any point this year, by the way. And you shouldn't either. But if he does, it'd be fantastic and really cool. Patrick Kahn says, I don't think they trust Rico, just who I think they go with. Right. That's sort of been the thing on Rico, is there's a lack of trust in him. Because it was like at the end of camp, and they kept selling the media on he doesn't know the plays, he's lost, and yet somehow he made the team, and now he's contributing. So I don't know how in 2 weeks, at the end of training camp, he went from not knowing the plays to knowing all the plays and knowing how to do things. But let's see here. Andy Cockerill on the Dallas Cowboys report page says, who is the receiver who got the sun in his eyes and had the huge playoff drop? Creighton? Yeah, Patrick Creighton. That's right. And I don't think it wasn't a drop. That's classified in the Giants game as a drop. Oh, by the way, that's a great point, Andy. Thank you. How very unclutch of Romo to throw a great pass to Patrick Creighton and have him not even get to the football. How very choke artist of him. Man, what a choker. Yes, they call it Patrick Creighton a drop on him, but he didn't even drop it. He just stopped running, right? Isn't that what happened? Am I misremembering that? Didn't he just stop running? And if he'd continued running, the ball would have found him? Sean Moore. Again, Romo has the only 2 playoff wins this team has since the 90s. And he should have had 3 if Patrick Creighton keeps running. But he's not. He's a joker. This is what happens when you, I hosted a sports talk show in San Antonio for 6 years. I hosted a sports talk show in Austin for 3 before that. I've covered the Cowboys for 10 years. Anytime Romo's name comes up, we get down this wormhole that we've gone down. And this obviously happened when he was playing a lot, because we could see it play out. But it's amazing how many times I've had this conversation. It's truly amazing. It's the cliche in sports talk radio is the old, Pete Rose, should he be in the Hall of Fame? That's the hot button Sports talk topic. Well, I mean, the Romo topic is the same in the same vein. It really is. It's just, he's not clutch. He's a choker. He just doesn't have it. Like, what? I don't know how to define any of that. I know he has a ridiculous amount of fourth quarter comebacks. I know he was ridiculously fun to watch, made ridiculously good plays. I know the Cowboys were horrible and in a bad salary cap situation where they didn't draft very well. They had the one draft, 05, 06, where they had like 12 picks and 0 of those picks were in the NFL in like 5 years. Like, that's not Romo's fault. Steve Ondrowski, 4th and 1, threw a dime to Dez with the game on the line. Obviously, it was an incompletion. That's his fault, not clutch. Frederick Harrison says, Romo can make a major impact for the Cowboys today if he was on the sidelines calling plays. No. I take Romo in his prime any day over Dak. Yeah, of course. Because we don't know what Dak's prime is. We take Romo in his prime over, hell, most quarterbacks in the league right now. I would. Damn, I would. Absolutely. Put Romo on this team. This team has more than 3 wins. Put Romo in his prime on this team. Yeah, this team has more than 3 wins. Yeah. Brian Walker says that comes with being the quarterback of the Cowboys, and you thought it was going to be a fun show. I did, and it still is. It's a very fun show. I don't know what comes with being a quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He's the 3rd best quarterback in the Cowboys' history. He is, in my opinion, a Hall of Fame quarterback. He'll never make the Hall of Fame, but he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. But, you know, it is what it is. What else was... Oh, yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he and Teddy Williams were in town to work out. Teddy Williams is a former track star at University of Texas, San Antonio. He went to UTSA before they had a football program. He went to high school in San Antonio, and he played for the Cowboys. I know he was in camp with the Cowboys. I don't know if he ever played for them or was on their active roster. But so CJ Goodwin, who they just brought in a few weeks ago, this was amazing. He's 3rd on the team in special team tackles. CJ Goodwin is 3rd on the Cowboys in special team tackles and has been with this team for like 3 weeks. So he broke his elbow or something, and so had surgery, and they haven't put him on IR, which is weird. But I think that's why they brought in Obi-Wan Kenobi and Teddy Williams, because they're looking for somebody to contribute on special teams. Look, Obi-Wan Kenobi is not a good football player. He is like, he's a combine wizard. 6'4", huge. I mean, ridiculous 40 speed. Just not a good football player. So that's why he's not with the Oakland Raiders anymore, because he was a 2nd round pick, because he was just a combine wizard and has great size, but he's not a good football player. Now, maybe a move to safety from corner could help. Maybe. I mean, I'm certainly be interested in taking a flyer on him, and I think the piece for that is special teams. That's where they're looking for somebody to help contribute on special teams, because Goodwin's going to be out. Broken forearm, by the way. Thank you, Patrick Kahn. Patrick Kahn with the assist. By the way, check out the Cowboys Beat, which will premiere tomorrow with Patrick Kahn, Draft Cowboys, the man. Very excited about that, and we'll include whoever I interview today at Cowboys practice, which I'll leave for in like 10 minutes. Danny Easley, Romo has no coaching experience. He may be a good quarterback or wide receiver coach, but why OC? He has no experience at all. He can dissect the defensive line of scrimmage. OCs don't do that. If they don't have enough time, etc., to do that, that's all Romo. He can't most of his traits. He can't teach. Thank you, Danny Easley. You've been paying attention. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Keith Stone says, love your reactions to people saying Romo should coach. I love Romo, but no, he shouldn't coach. At least he should be like a quarterback's coach first. Joe Tranchina says, sorry, guys, I love my Cowboys, but I think Prescott is a joke. Dak? I mean, a joke? Ryan Leaf is a joke as a quarterback. Chad Hutchinson is a joke. Who is the Michigan? Drew Henson is a joke. Like, those guys are jokes. I mean, Dak might not be the guy, but he's not a joke. Just my opinion, though. Let's see here. Steve Androwski says, everybody wants Dak out after 3 years. Everyone forgets Romo sat on the bench, a luxury Dak never had. Sure. Agreed. And that matters. Romo was in a situation to where he could sit on the bench and learn, and that's an advantage that he had, but Dak doesn't have that advantage. Dak also had an advantage in year one to have, like, maybe the best offensive line ever and a rookie running back that was flawless. So, I mean, you get advantages nobody's trying to make Dak Prescott into Tony Romo. They're different quarterbacks. They have different skill sets. They're different players. So there are probably things that Dak might be able to do better than Romo. Yeah, there is. He doesn't throw as many picks. Boom, there it is. Doesn't throw as many picks. There's one thing. But, I just think, Romo has had an advantage by being able to sit for 3 years. So at this point in Romo's career, he wasn't even playing yet. But Dak doesn't have that luxury. There's other advantages that he's had. Now it's not equal to Romo's, but that's, it's just tough. That's the nature of the beast. And that's, you can't just, they're at a point in time now where they've got to make a decision on Dak Prescott for his future. He's a 4th-round draft pick, and what sucks about that is you can't get the 5th-year option with him. So after 4 years, they have to make a decision on him. So they can't let him sit for 3 years and make it can't happen. So they've got to figure out for the future of this franchise if Dak Prescott is the guy. But you're right, Steve. I mean, it takes time to develop a quarterback, but you also have to progress and not regress. And that's year 1, year 2, and now year 3, we've seen a regression. Patrick Kahn says, all right, let's not go back to talk quarterback purgatory, please. I'm just saying, those guys are jokes. Dak's not a joke. He's not in the category of Roger, Troy, Romo, Danny White, right? He's not there, but he's not a joke. I mean, at this point, he's Quincy Carter, right? Without the weed. But I mean, Quincy's kind of looked at as a joke, but Quincy won a playoff, no. Quincy had some decent games, looked pretty good. Okay, maybe he's better than Quincy, I don't know. It's hard to photographically remember every situation. He didn't have a playoff win. Didn't he lead the Cowboys to the playoffs or something? Somebody help me out. Patrick Kahn, where are you? The wide receivers regressed too. This is the excuses talk now. I mean, sure, that's true. They made a huge mistake this offseason with the decisions they made at wide receiver. That's true. But you don't pay that guy $100 million, is all. Playoff appearance. I was going to say there wasn't a win because, as Sean Moore said, there's only 2 playoff victories for the Cowboys since the 90s. And those are both Romo's wins. So that's right. Quincy got to the playoffs. So, yeah, at this point, Quincy Carter, Dak Prescott. There you go. And I'm sure there's others in the comparison so as to not, well, you're only comparing them because they're both black. No, that's what comes to mind. Lost 29-10 to Carolina. Sean Moore says, Dak just needs to be a backup. How's a guy who's a starting quarterback afraid to throw it a wide receiver open and can't see the field? He's getting the many chances is mind-boggling. Look, let's just see. Let's just wait and see what this whole Amari Cooper experience looks like. And Patrick Prescott's right, by the way. This line is still better than 65 to 70% of the rest of the league's lines. Agreed. The line's not great. The line isn't what it was 2 years ago, but that line, that might be the best offensive line in the history of the game. Seriously, Zach Martin was first team All-Pro. Tyron Smith was first team All-Pro. I believe Travis Frederick was first team All-Pro. They had three of the 5 first team All-Pros were on the Cowboys. That's ridiculous. Quincy Jones lost to Carolina in the playoffs from Joe Tranchina. Sean Moore says Quincy Carter. No. Quincy Jones. Joe's right. Simon Arroyo, when he left. Hey. All right. Did I have a third topic today? Oh, I did. Hey, we'll do this tomorrow. Who win the NFC East? The Dallas freaking Cowboys? The Eagles? Or other? Which I thought was funny. All right. Anybody else? Last second thoughts? Romo not clutch. Romo sucks. Worst quarterback in the history of the Cowboys, obviously. Undeserving of a top 5 list that I'm going to now go build myself. Joe Tranchina says, sorry. No, I think it's better if we picture Quincy Jones as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And the father of Rashida Jones, I must add, who is fun to look at. Travis was second team All-Pro that year. Was he second team? My God. Who was the first team All-Pro center that year? So do they only have 2 first team All-Pros, Patrick, that year? On their offensive line? I mean, I know Zeke was too, was he not? Zeke was first team All-Pro running back. Tyron was first team All-Pro left tackle. Zach Martin was first team All-Pro right guard. Travis was second team. Left guard was Leary. Right tackle was Doug Free. Is that right? That's right, right? Free and Leary, right? Danny Easley I say Cowboys wait to tank till next year and get Tua. Let's just wait like a season before we start talking about that, shall we? Agreed. We have to see how this team does with the number 1 wide receiver. Finally, something, Brian, we agree on. All right, I'm out, everybody, because I'm going to be going to Cowboys practice. But probably about 2 o'clock Central-ish, I'll be doing another live stream from the Star in Frisco. So join me then. But for now, I'm out. Peace, everybody.